Shock and sadness in the wake of another school shooting in America, this time in Georgia. 2 teachers and 2 students now dead after a 14-year-old gunman opened fire at Appalachia High School. Agents received tips in May of last year about threats to commit a school shooting, determining that the threats came from then 13-year-old Colt Gray. The FBI saying the father stated he had hunting guns in the house, but that his son did not have unsupervised access to them, adding there was no probable cause for agents to take action against him. Authorities believe the teen acted alone on Wednesday using an AR-style rifle to open fire inside the school. School resource officers engaged within minutes. Authorities say the suspect gave up immediately. The community now mourning those who were killed. Students Mason Skirmahorn and Christian Angulo, both 14, and teachers Richard Aspinwall and Christina Irimi. This marks at least the 45th school shooting this year in the U.S. and the deadliest. Last night, hundreds gathered at a candlelight vigil near the school. President Biden saying lives were cut short due to senseless gun violence, again calling on Congress to pass more gun control like banning assault weapons. Meanwhile, 9 other victims are in the hospital. All are expected to be okay.
Hey, another mass shooting, kid by the name of Colt Gray. So a year prior, the kid was 13, and the FBI was tipped off that he was posting threats online. They showed up to the house, and the parents said that while they do have weapons in the house, the weapons are not attainable by Colt. Fast forward to Fast forward to
I fucked that. Bro, damn.
fast forward to December, and Colt's dad gifts him an AR for Christmas, which is all types of weird, and we can get into that. But and then you fast forward to September 6th. School has been back in for what, like 2 weeks? Not even a month. Not even a month into school, and Colt decided, all right, well, today's going to be the day that I kill people. He walked out of his classroom at 9:45, I think it said, to go get a gun. And he came back, and he wasn't able to get into the classroom, so he went to the next door classroom and opened fire, killing 2 students and 2 teachers. Listen, I want to hear what you have to say, but I think if you guys see the video we did about Sonia Massey, then you will probably know that I, for one, am tired of giving condolences because I don't feel like it does anything. I'm tired of, praying for people because I feel like prayer does nothing. I genuinely just feel that, I wonder if we're ever going to actually examine this problem and examine its roots and see how we can fix it. Because Malcolm X said,
we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough. And it is because of our effort toward getting straight to the root that people oftentimes think we're dealing in hate.
The reason why we're not able to solve a lot of these problems, and it feels like we just put Band-Aids on them, is because we react to them rather than trying to prevent them. I don't think that's the right way that things should go. I mean, of course I feel terrible for the families of the people that got shot, and especially the people that are deceased, but I'm already seeing the response to this be just all types of wrong. I'm already seeing the reactions just spiraling out of control, and it's just like this is what happens every time. People on a certain side, and we're not going to talk about left or right, but people on a certain side that really actually want this to stop happening are ready to have a discussion about gun safety, about mental health, about examining what is leading people to feel like they have to do these things, and how can we help people that may be feeling like they're about to do something like this. And then you have another side that's just focused on, you ain't taking my guns. And it's like, they don't want to talk about it. They want to give the teachers guns. They want to heighten security at the school to further make the children feel like prisoners. All that kind of stuff does is make them feel more like prisoners than they already do. And as someone who felt like a prisoner at high school, I can tell you that's the last thing I would want, is to know that my teacher has access to a weapon in the classroom. The last thing I want to do is walk through metal detectors. And that's already a reality for a lot of people, for a lot of children. And then it's like The last thing I want to do is pull up to my school seeing more state troopers outside than I see at my job. There's one state trooper car outside my job. Occasionally, too, when they're switching shifts, I think. You know, I can't imagine hopping off the bus and walking past a couple of armed state troopers. What do you think, Vanessa? Because if I keep going, I'm not going to be able to stop.
I mean, do you have all day? Like,
we don't have all day.
We don't. Like, if I start, I'm going to be talking all day.
Bruh.
I don't know what to say. Like, this isn't something you could just say, well, oh, that's unfortunate. We got to move on. No.
Well, that's what JD Vance wants to do.
Clown. That shit makes me so upset. It's not something that we need to just be comfortable with having happening. This is not something that we need to be looming over our shoulders with, having this kind of fear that at any moment somebody could just come in and open fire. All of this just really doesn't make any sense. Like, how are we okay with this? There's no one answer for everything. Every situation can't just be grouped all in and labeled one thing. Because that 14-year-old kid, obviously in need of help, some kind of assistance. It just doesn't compute. It doesn't make any sense. It's not a fact of life.
Well, we're referencing that. So what JD Vance said, and for those who don't know, JD Vance is Donald Trump's running mate, or whatever you want to call him, his lackey, whatever you want to call him. JD Vance was speaking at a rally, I think, and he was asked a question about the Georgia shooting. And amongst, what he said, I'll play a clip, of course.
Little kids so excited to go back to school. God love them. They're at their first week back from the summer, and an absolute barbarian decides to open fire and take their lives and also a couple teachers. The Kamala Harris answer to this is to take law-abiding American citizens' guns away from them.
You lie! You lie!
That is what Kamala Harris wants to do.
When will the lies end?
But we have to ask ourselves, we actually have been able to run an experiment on this, because you've got some states with very strict gun laws, and you've got some states that don't have strict gun laws at all. And the states with strict gun laws, they have a lot of school shootings. And the states without strict gun laws, some of them have school shootings too. So clearly strict gun laws is not the thing that is going to solve this problem. What is going to solve this problem, and I really do believe this, is look, I don't like this. I don't like to admit this. I don't like that this is a fact of life. But if you are a psycho and you want to make headlines, you realize that our schools are soft targets.
He said two things that were alarming to me. The first thing he said that alarmed me was that he labeled this 14-year-old child, who is clearly troubled, a barbarian and a psychopath. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I know it's the unpopular opinion to care about the humanity of the murderer. It's not really on some shit like, let's not name call the murderer, let's coddle the murderer. It's not on some shit like that. It's more just because we are talking about a child, and they don't cease to be a child because they did something horrible. It's still a child. Yes, repercussions, punishment, but there's a reason why we don't put children on death row, Especially in a situation like this, when the parents were well aware that there was a problem, and their response to it was to gift him a weapon. The situation is tricky. And like Vanessa said, you can't just blanket these things with just one statement, one sentence, one label. That's not the way to go about it. At what point are we going to stop just throwing labels on people that do bad things, locking them up and throwing away the key, and not, helping to find out what's troubling them like this? How does it get to this point? What is it about society that is making people feel like they have to do these things? Because too many times these shootings happen at these schools, and then we hear about the kid getting fucking bullied. At what point are parents going to take seriously that they need to tell their kids not to fucking pick on other kids? At what point are parents going to take seriously bullying? At what point are the teachers going to do something about the kids getting bullied? Take it steps further. Motherfuckers bullying people on the bus, kick them niggas off the bus. Tell their parents, hey yo, they can't ride the bus no more, they can't stop picking on people. Too many times, because when I was growing up, there was too many times where my environment had to be changed when I was getting bullied. They didn't look at whoever was bullying me. I was the one that had to ride a different bus. I was the one that had to go to a different class. The schools are being alerted by the parents sometimes. The parents are going to the schools and saying, hey, they're like bullying my child. Like, this is the 4th time he's come home crying. Like, talking about he want to be dead and stuff like that. Because the kids at the school picking on him and y'all just watching it happen.
Well, because school doesn't care about mental health. So that's your answer right there. What do you mean you want to die? You better do this Pythagorean theorem.
And I don't even know if they're that callous about it, but it's just they don't do anything.
I mean, negligence is just as bad.
But I don't want to make it seem like the teachers don't care.
I'm not saying like none of them do. I'm just saying just the system that they have to abide by is not helping these kids at all. Like, the teachers didn't put the system in place. Teachers come and go. Like, what are we going to do about the now?
And we just have we're going to get to the second thing that JD Vance said that was absolutely stupid. Like, it was worse. But, with as far as like just this labeling of people, I think it's part of a bigger problem that we have in this country that I feel like has started to kind of shift, but it's still an issue we have where when people break the law, we have demonized them in the past. When they have done bad things, instead of using resources we have to try to better that person and, rehabilitate them so they can re-enter society as a good person. That's what is supposed to be happening. We all know our prison systems aren't doing that. But it's just like, I don't know. I feel really weird about calling a child a barbarian and a psychopath. And just saying like, oh, if psychopaths wanna get attention, it's like, is that what you think this is about? I don't think we're doing the proper research we should be into these situations. I don't think we're looking at what is causing this to happen. Cap, you going to... Anyway, JD Vance said a second thing. He said that this is a fact of life, referring to the incident and referring to these school shootings. Let's get something straight. I don't want to make it seem like JD Vance is trying to normalize school shootings. I don't think that JD Vance woke up that morning and said, I'm going to make these people understand that school shootings are normal. I don't think JD Vance has malicious intentions in that way. I don't think he's a good person, but I don't think he wants children getting blasted to be a normal thing. I don't think he hates children or anything like that. But what he is saying is a form of normalization. I feel like that kind of statement, it does, participate in normalizing something that is not normal. The shooting of kids in a classroom on the rate that we have it in this country is absolutely not a fact of life, and it does not have to be something that we deal with. On the opposite side, Kamala Harris.
This is just a senseless tragedy on top of so many senseless tragedies. And it's just outrageous that every day in our country, in the United States of America, that parents have to send their children to school worried about whether or not their child will come home alive. It's senseless. It is, we've got to stop it. And we have to end this epidemic of gun violence in our country once and for all. It doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way.
Because this keeps happening and nothing is done to remedy it. Nothing is done to prevent it. Y'all just keep reacting to it. You just keep giving your condolences, beefing up security, and talking about giving teachers guns instead of talking about what is making people do these things. And instead of establishing foundations and systems that can help people not even get to this point. There should have been a focus on mental and emotional health in every school in the country. I don't give a fuck how much money it costs. It doesn't matter how much money anything costs when it comes to saving children. Pro-life people should understand this. I don't give a fuck about where's that money gonna come from. Who gives a fuck? Do the right thing, bro. I don't want to hear all that because I'm sick of hearing that. Where the money gonna come from? Somebody gotta pay for it. That shouldn't fucking matter, dog. That shouldn't even matter. You can't put a dollar sign on saving a child's life.
If they wanted to, they would have. If they truly cared about all of that you just said, actually getting to the root of the problem, solving the mental health crisis that we have in our society, fixing all this crap that's going on in our communities, they would have. They are the problem. They don't want to fix the problem. People like J.D. Vance is going to continue to be like, it's a fact of life. It's a fact of life.
Like, one thing I've been thinking about is, I don't know how you would do this because I don't know if there's like certain laws you have to abide by when you do this kind of thing. But I was thinking maybe of just like going to a high school, maybe when they let out, and as the kids are walking by or whatever, just kind of asking them like, how do you feel about, you know, this violence that's happening at the schools, and how do you, and you know, do you feel safe when you go to school? And I know it's tough questions. You don't want to ask like a child these things, but we have to. These are the tough things we have to accept. It's gonna.
I mean, they're the ones that have to go through it, so why not? I'm sick of this. Oh, they're a kid. They don't know nothing. Stop.
No,
Stop saying they don't know nothing.
Because you know what we was watching just a couple months ago, y'all. And you know what? I'm gonna put a link or two in the description too for y'all to go see for yourselves. These videos of these kids from decades ago, they're speaking better than anybody I went to school with.
At 15.
At 15. I'm talking about when I was 17 and in senior year, I didn't hear kids speaking this clearly and deeply and, you know, using this level of critical thinking. So like this whole illusion we've been duped into believing that children are just incapable of understanding these complex ideas is wrong. It's a lie.
Now, on this question of prejudice, perhaps we ought to start out by trying to define what you think prejudices are. What do you think prejudice is, Ratnati?
I think prejudice is a feeling of hate of people as a group or individual toward other people.
You say a feeling of hate. Do you think prejudice is as strong as hate?
Yes. When we ask somebody if he has a prejudice, then the answer will be, I hate such and such. I found out that if somebody distinguishes between two white men, it is not prejudice. But if somebody distinguishes between a white man and a colored man, it is prejudice.
I would define prejudice as a rigid opinion formed about a certain thing before there has been a just examination of the facts.
When a person loses track of the dignity of the human soul and begins to judge others not on the basis of their being persons, but on the basis of race, creed, economic status, that is prejudice.
They know what feels right, they know what feels wrong, they know what feels safe, and they know what feels dangerous.
It's this tactic at this point. It's their favorite tactic. Ignorance. They love pushing that one.
But who is they?
People like J.D. Vance that keep saying it's a fact of life. That's an ignorant statement. And people that run with that, they're ignorant as well. It's not a fact of life. People don't have to keep going through this.
I want to hear from the audience. Like, what do you guys feel about common sense gun registration and gun laws? What do you guys think about every school needing to have a specific focus on mental and emotional health, whether that be programs or whether that just be, involved in teacher training?
Actual student counseling, because my counselors didn't do anything.
I barely saw my counselor. Like, I think I saw them like maybe twice. I want us to brainstorm ideas on how we can further make our voices heard, that we don't want this to be normalized. We don't want to be hypnotized into thinking that this is just something we got to deal with. I think there are things we can do to prevent this. It's just that we keep not doing it.
Because they're indoctrinating things into them that don't matter. Like, they're not giving them the tools to success. They're giving them the keys to the automatic rifles.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think the schools teaching them useless stuff is leading to school shootings. I think what's leading to school shootings is the lack of attention given to these people. You've heard my idea before. I don't know why when you're leaving middle school and going to high school, I don't know why there's not like a meeting with somebody that's putting together your schedule for them to ask you like, what are your interests? What do you like to do? What sparks curiosity in you?
Because they don't care.
But I'm just saying, this is what should be happening. I understand they don't care, but I'm just saying like, this is what I feel like would be helping people actually when they get to 11th grade and 12th grade. They've taken classes that have to do with the things that they're into and like nurtures their passions. But these are the type of conversations that a lot of people on a certain side just don't want to have. They don't even want to talk about this. Because it doesn't just stop it. I know we kind of meme them by saying, you ain't taking my guns. But it's like, that's not really the end all be all of it. It's that they also don't want to talk about mental health. They also don't want to talk about what the schools aren't doing. They also don't want to talk about...
They only want to talk about mental health when it comes to transgenderism.
And then even then, the way they talk about it is fucked up.
Like, these are things that we already know. So it's like, I'm just annoyed continuously talking about the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like
I know, but it's good that it keeps annoying us. It's good that it keeps angering us. We should be outraged. I know it gets tiring, but think about us as a black community. Like, what happens every time we see a video of somebody getting shot down for no reason? Getting, tased for no reason. I was just watching a video about a dude already in handcuffs, already on the hood of the car, getting tased by some racist bitch.
Hey, Steve. I ain't doing I got gun right there. I'm not doing that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying, what you saying? Oh, yeah, for? I'm not. Oh, my God. Okay. Down. Oh, my fault. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
You want it again?
No,
Shut the you was big and bad.
Calling him all type of shit out his name and stuff. It angers us, but it's good that it angers us because it's not normal. And we should continue to complain. We should continue to yell at these politicians, these people in power, to fix this. I do feel like us as a people, we need to take it a step further. And I think one of those steps forward, I think we should organize and pull our money from some of these foundations and these corporations to send them a message of, we're not going to give you a single other dollar until you speak out against what's going on. Until you say, we need common sense gun laws and a focus on mental and emotional health in this country so we can stop these school shootings from happening. I disagree with Killer Mike on a lot of things, but one of his ideas that I think is damn near genius is he has this idea of if you take 1,000 people in a city that have $100 and you take that, you have $100,000 you take to the bank and you make a demand that I want you to give small loans to blacks. We have power. We know the power is in the money. It's just an issue with organizing and mobilizing, But it is also an issue of these politicians trying to hypnotize us into making us think that this shit is just unfixable. And then this is just what's going on.
It's just insanity. There's nothing more I have to say. Like, it's insane. It's insane. Okay? We're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. That's insanity. Like, be for real. I can't keep talking about this like this because it's genuinely making me like tear up and upset. So I've said everything I needed to say. It's not a fact of fucking life. Period.
Let us know what you guys think. RIP to the 2 students and the 2 teachers. I'm hoping everything is going as well as it can because I know it's not going well for these people. And I know it's not going well for them kids that are traumatized. Now, we got another batch of motherfuckers growing up traumatized. It seems to be par for the course here. But, keep fighting it. If it angers you, that's a good thing. Now, use that anger to fuel action. Even if it's just action like this. Even if it is just setting up a camera, setting up a microphone and saying, yo, this is pissing me off. I want to talk about it. It shouldn't end there, but it's a good start. Remain outraged. Remain angry, but whether you're in the middle, the left, or the right, or whatever, demand the people that you are supporting for power to do something about this, not to continue reacting to it. We don't need teachers with guns. We don't need more security at schools. We don't need, that's not what we need. We
Not
need
at
to
all.
care. We need to care about life after it's out of the womb. And to the point that you were saying earlier, because I think you were making a very good point, is that I am sick and tired of pro-life people that are just pro-birth. Just remain outraged. That's all I have to say. Remain outraged. Remain angry. I know it gets tiring to be so pissed off all the time, but you have to be. Because it's a good thing that you are, because it's a signal that you don't like what's happening. And you feel like it shouldn't have to still be happening. So, you know, if we all feel the same, we need to organize and communicate that to the people that can change it, you know? And yeah, that's all I have to say about this one.
Don't keep it a ton. Keep it 3,000. Peace.
See you later.